situations when there's so much attention and hoopla and hype surrounding a game, it can't live up to it. Well, this one did, I think. And we knew Michigan was really good, but after being on the court with them for a couple of hours, they're better than I even thought as a coach. And I think we've watched as much film as we could watch over the last couple of weeks. They are really good. And they did things tonight that we hadn't seen as much. They did a great job covering the ball screen. They were very physical on our handoffs and our things across the top. And they did a great job screening. And I don't know how John feels about his game and his team, but looking at them, they are so good. And they get a lot of attention for their scoring and for their break. But they played a very physical game. And our guys really adjusted to how physical they had to play tonight. They made a lot of adjustments in the game. And I thought we played with a great purpose. Our energy was tremendous. There's no question that this crowd was as ecstatic and as exciting as any that I've ever been a part of here. And we've been a part of some unbelievable crowds here. And but they were there from start to finish, and our team kept being fueled by that. And I think the big things for us is in the second half we tightened up some things. We did a good job of getting to the glass. We didn't always do a great job with them on the boards, but we did a really good job, especially after they started blitzing the ball screens, of attacking, and then our forwards followed it up. Cody got some really good dunks out of that. But the bottom line is we took care of the ball better. We had 11 turnovers at half. We had 5 in the second half. And we felt like the one thing, it wasn't some of the tough threes that they made in the first half that was keeping them in it. It was our turnovers were keeping them in it. And we knew that. We knew we had to have great focus and discipline, and we got a lot better with that in the second half. And we defended the three well. I think they made their threes at the end of the game, and we could have defended those better. But they were playing catch-up, and we made a couple of mistakes. But very proud of our guys and the way that they're maturing. It's one thing to be at home, but our guys knew there was a lot of hoopla and hype surrounding this too. And we knew it was new business tonight, this year playing Michigan, but we also felt like the Michigan that we had played last year, the Indiana defense they saw was what they remembered, and we wanted to give them something different because we did not guard them as well as we should have a year ago. And we really wanted to prove to ourselves tonight that we were a much better defensive team against a team that's that good. And they truly are that good. And they're going to continue to have a great season. And let's hope when we meet at the end of the year, we're all playing for something really big.
Mike?
Hey, Tom, can you just expand some more on the whole game day experience and the crowd that fueled it and just what it was like having ESPN's crew here with you today?
Well, it made for an exciting day. It made for a long day, but it made for an exciting day. The best thing we did is not only get our players out of here after their appearance this morning and get them home and then not practice till later in the afternoon, but is not open up the lines for the students till 3 o'clock this afternoon so they would go home and get some rest. And I think you want to take in the whole atmosphere. You want to see everything in the morning, and there's a little bit of, you reflect and look at it a little bit and say, this is really a big deal. And we'd been a part of one at Marquette, and obviously when we first started here, it wasn't like game day was on the horizon anytime soon. But the program worked its way to get that, to have this be a place that they wanted to go. I would think that they've had a great day here. But I think it's a great honor for us to have something like this, but I think it's also well earned by not only the program but by our fans. And we didn't want there to be anything that they didn't see, but at the bottom line was the thing that mattered most was how we played from 9 to 11 tonight.
Mike?
Tom, you mentioned wanting to show you were a different defensive team. Can you explain what it is about this team defensively that makes it better than it was a year ago? How much Yogi, how much Victor is blossoming? What else might be involved?
There's a couple things that really stand out. But our transition defense is better, for one thing. But we're doing a much better job of trying to keep the ball on one side. Our pick and roll defense is better. Our deflections are up so far in the Big Ten from where they were a year ago. And I think the biggest thing is because our guys really understand that the better the defense they play, the more they finish it off with the defensive board, the more we can get out and be an explosive offensive team. That's the fuel for them, because it's not like we're going to work hard on defense and then come down and walk it up. And it might be a little bit harder to get them to understand how important defense is if we were in that situation. And really, tonight we had a couple of turnovers. The only one we really liked to have back was Vic shot it too quick, and he knows it late in the game. You know, that's where you got to make a foul, because they were in that position where they were going to have to make a decision there. But I think the thing that we knew going back from the last season, the two biggest things we had to do was get physically stronger, and we had to do a much better job of playing one-on-one, guarding one-on-one. And I think when you do that, then you don't have to be an overhelp team. And there's been too many times, even this year, where we still overhelp. Like you overhelp against Michigan, you're giving them an open shot. And every time that we overhelped or didn't play a screen the right way, they got a great look. So you really realize that if you're going to be a high-level team, it better start with your game plan defensively and how committed you are to it. And our guys are learning that.
Dustin.
Just more on defense, I guess. What did you like about what you guys did on Burke? Obviously, you switched a lot of guys and seemed like kind of used Vic.
Well, exactly. And we have the luxury of doing that now. You know, that's really important. You can't. Every time we got on his side, he made a good play. You know, some he made, some he didn't. I mean, there were a couple. The one at the end of the first half, that's just a bomb. I mean, we were right there. I mean, he makes those shots. He's a tremendous player. I mean, he is I mean, I get it. I've had a lot of respect for him for a long time, but now you get in the game with him, he just plays. I mean, he doesn't say anything, talks to his team, he just plays. And he's outstanding. So you've got to have different guys. You have to have some different coverages for the pick and roll in your bag. I think if you come into a game with Michigan and you think you're just gonna put all your eggs in one basket, you're probably gonna lose. So you've got to make sure that you're giving him different looks personnel-wise, giving him different looks schematically, though we didn't do a lot of that tonight. We had a couple things that we didn't have to go to that hopefully we can save for another time. But we've got multiple defenders, and I think that really helps us.
Zach.
How important, there was talk about Michigan's offensive rebounding ability coming into this game. How important were Christian's 9 defensive rebounds in particular in the second half? Really
good, really big, because they came, and Cody's loose ball rebound late on our end for offensively was unbelievable. I mean, he'll have some support center dunks, but that loose ball rebound was just that's why he's such a special player. And Christian's the same way. Christian was everything we needed him to be tonight, and very aggressive, did a very good job defensively, posted up, made his foul shots, took good shots, and had a great confidence about him. And he's constantly maturing as a two-way player all the time.
Pat.
What's it like watching your team pass, shoot, and execute the way you did to start the game, and then to respond in the second half with that run with it?
Well, I think we knew why they were making the run.
Yeah.
You know, there was one time we take a three. Tim Hardaway was all over Will in the corner, and Will takes a three rather than break him down and let's go get his 4th foul. You know, and that's we didn't do an unbelievable job tonight of time and score. And when we figured that out, we were much better. Because we take that 3 out of the corner, and then Hardaway comes down and makes a 3. That's a 6-point swing. Those are the things that we've got to break. But in the course of the game, the key is that you keep moving on to the next play. And I think that's why we were successful in the game, because we were able to close it. And we didn't we made a couple mistakes on late threes, but when it was time to put the game away, before they started hitting those at the end, we did it. And we did it on both ends.
Rick.
So much of the start of the season was talk about Cody. Now, in this game, you had 5 guys in double figures. As a coach, what do you take from that?
Well, I was asked the same question at the end of the game, you know, and it's with, you know, what's it like to coach Victor and Cody? And my response is this. I've got 2 brother-in-laws going to the Super Bowl game tomorrow that their mantra for their team is the team, the team, the team. It was Bo Schembechler's, it was Jack Harbaugh's. It's those guys, and we got the same thing in the Cook Hall gym. And to me, one thing I heard a long time ago was the star of the team is the team. And I think the more that we understand that, the more that guys like Cody and Victor and Christian and Jordan, the more they know that they are the product of their teammates And they've all got their roles, and they all do different things, but they are the product, their success is the product of their teammates, the better we are. And that's the way we've got to keep focusing.
Brad?
Todd, with the energy and the atmosphere so high in the building tonight, did you ever have to tell your guys to settle down a little bit?
We had to slow down a little bit on offense. And I don't mean slow down in a, like, let's not push the ball up the court, but not try to make some plays that weren't there. You know, I was even kind of excited about that Vic dunk that he ended up missing, you know, late. That would have been unbelievable. So I couldn't even get mad at that. You know, I wanted him to throw alley-oops, so. But, no, we had to slow down a little bit. We had to make sure we kept it sped up on defense and then have great, I shouldn't say slow down, but have better recognition on the break and not force some things. Because they're good. They're getting back. I mean, Mitch McGarry played an excellent game defensively. I mean, they're really good. Really good. And they're going to continue to get better.
John?
Don, how much did Yogi show both sides of his game tonight, making the 2 threes early and then balancing things out in the second half, getting other people's shots?
Well, I think, and the other thing is he did an excellent job defensively. And then he went back in the first half. You know, I always tell him I'm trying to have him learn that we're trying to play time and score all the time. You know, risk versus reward when you have 2 fouls in the first half. And we put him back in there for a little while. He did a very good job. You know, that's him. You know, I've said this before, but he's wiser than his years. He's been so well coached. He's such a winner, and he really does thrive in these type of environments. And the thing that has been so good about him is how committed he is defensively, man to man, and how he uses his strength, his quickness, and his smarts. But he's a delivery guy. I mean, he will deliver the ball, but he's also very confident, as we all are, when he rises up and shoots a pull-up, gets to the rim, or shoots a 3.
Jeff, last question.
We got a little time. We got a lot of people here. Go ahead.
Being preseason number 1 is a little bit of a tip of the cap to what people think you're going to be. Assuming you guys have a chance to return there, which you do, what is in February? What does that mean about how you play?
I think it's. I said this to the team after the game. You know, we were picked number 1 back in April. We hadn't done anything, and so all of a sudden, when you lose, it's like, well, how did you lose? Well, you know, we picked you number 1. I mean, that's not what they play for. I mean, I think that's great. I mean, they truly are learning that those things are nice, but the playing to improve, the playing to be good enough to win a game like this, to be able to make adjustments, to be able to play through some mistakes and deal with some adversity and grow up in the games, that's what's most important. So I don't get the sense that these guys are locked into those rankings at all. Because, you know, when we weren't number 1 in mid-December, they know what was said. I mean, they could feel all that. And were we any worse because we lost by 2? We didn't play that great that day. But we weren't. It wasn't like the sky was falling. And we had to come in here and make sure that they understood that. And I think that's what's most important, is that when your team gets, when they lose sight of the most important thing is how they play together and how they work and improve together, then you have issues. And we don't plan to have any issues. We plan to keep making sure that we stay locked into that and not let any of the nice things or the negative things or any of that stuff become a driving force for them. And it's just all part of the game. But these guys have figured out that if they're not improving, A, somebody else will in the program, but B, all these other teams are really improving. So we have to be.
Yeah, Coach, you got some real good minutes out of Jeremy Hollowell tonight. What can you tell us about his continued development and the presence he's bringing off the bench?
He's a product of his work. He doesn't want to sit there. I mean, it's as simple as that. I really wish I'd have played him more in the Michigan State game. And it's like Hunter tonight. Hunter is getting better. I mean, all the time. And I said to him that not playing tonight is not indicative of him at all. It's not a reflection on his improvement. It's a reflection that we went with the veterans at the end because there was a lot of movement in their pick and roll game. And when you haven't played a lot and you're an inside player and you've got to guard the ball and get back to your man. I mean, Cody's one of the best players around, and he was having issues with it. So sometimes you've got to play the game and play the guys that fit the game that well. But Jeremy is really gaining confidence because he's spending so much extra time outside of practice on his game. And he truly, instead of sitting there and feeling sorry for himself, he became one of those guys that's in the gym in the morning or in the gym at night along with his practice time. And as long as he continues to do that, and keep improving, because he's not playing on his numbers right now or his percentages. He's playing because he's bringing us energy, he's defending, and he's on the boards.
Dustin.
You guys came into this one having shot more free throws than anybody. They don't give a lot up. You guys go 22 out of 25 at the line. How big was that to accomplish?
Well, unfortunately, we were able to get to the line because it's a physical game now. I mean, I think anybody that would look at it and say, well, they don't foul that much and they don't put people up, they're physical. And there's no doubt about that. This was his most physical. I've seen them, and then somebody else that covers them might feel differently, but again, the films don't do justice maybe, but they were very physical in this game. And it was imperative that we got to the line. We didn't know if we'd get there the old-fashioned way in the sense of just the course of the game, so we better make sure that we're getting some offensive rebounds. We better make sure that we're attacking the rim of the break. We better make sure anytime we get an opportunity to drive somebody that we do it and put some pressure on the whistle. Is it going to be an offensive foul? Is it going to be a defensive foul? You got to take a few chances when you're playing against a team like that really takes a lot of pride in not fouling. But one of the reasons that we're better is because we're not fouling as much. And that started a year ago. That's an answer to Mike's question. We were way better a year ago. We went from 23 fouls a game, which was worst in the country, to 17. And we're still even bringing that down some. Well, there might be some opponents that wouldn't agree with that, but that's what the numbers say. So, I'm sure Izzo's not listening.
There was that one stretch when Michigan cut it. They tied the game up at 40. I think you guys scored a bucket, and you about flew out of your shoes trying to get the crowd into the game, pumping everybody up.
Why not? I was having fun too.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what? I mean, we've worked long and hard for this. I mean, that's why I'm really excited for John Beilein. I mean, I know how good a coach he is, and I know some of the issues that he walked into at Michigan. I mean, I saw firsthand what he did at West Virginia, and we may be competitors and rivals and all that stuff, but I'm excited for him and what he's doing with his team. His wife and my wife talk, now and again, and there's a mutual respect. Well, you know what? You get into an environment like this. I mean, I was uptight enough the last couple of days. I wanted to enjoy it too, and our fans were fantastic. But sometimes you just you smell momentum and you want to try to make that move.
Coach, what's it mean to get a win now, take off the top in the land on February 2nd? I mean,
Just want to say that again?
What's it mean February 2nd to get a win and play as successful as you all did today and beat the #1 team?
It means we've got to be really good going into Illinois on Thursday night. That's what it means. We played well tonight, but there's a lot of room for improvement. It's not coach speak, it's facts. And the key for us is that can we get better? Which we have to get some rest now and with the team, but can we get better knowing that we're going to Illinois on Thursday and Ohio State on Sunday?
Okay.
That it? All right, thank you.